Are you doing mathematics? And I've had a lot of experience with gambling and problem gambling. My gambling first started gambling with my life through drug dealing and gambling, doing drugs. It's a gamble every time you do that. But my gambling really intensified when I was incarcerated for the first time. And I was introduced to poker, card games, dominoes, gambling on tonk, pluck, whisk, football games, 4-card ticket pick'ems. And so that gambling always made the game better. It always made everything appear that it was more exciting. But it's the gambling I knew it started to become a problem when it's how I feel when I'm not gambling. It's how a game's boring when I don't have a bet on it. It's how playing chess isn't the same unless there's a bet on it. Playing cards isn't the same unless there's a bet on it. And I've had experience with bookies and not being able to pay, and like spending all my canteen while I'm incarcerated, and even being in the free world, spending all my money gambling on scratch tickets, the lottery, Keno, and all of it at the end of the day, it's a modality for me to get outside myself. The DraftKings I hit one time, and it's been a chase ever since. I'm not a complete abstinence gambler. I still practice very much on a smaller level, but I feel as though that's justifiable gambling, where I can justify it. But even if you spend $10 a day, for a whole year, that's still $3,650 that you're spending on gambling. And yeah, you might hit for 100 or 200 here and there, but there's also a rush that comes from losing when you're gambling as well. It's not just the win, it's the chase, it's the lifestyle, it's the excitement, the dopamine rush. And like I said, it's really how you feel when you're not gambling. Life feels boring when you're not gambling. The game's not the same. There's no excitement. The interest with your kids and your hobbies and stuff, your family, you start to lose interest in that. And it's all about the bet, getting to the game. Fantasy football is a way too that can kind of be like, oh, well, it's $500 for the league. There's 18 games in the season. I'll be covered for the whole season. But at the end of the day, so now you start putting some side bets along with the fantasy. So some of the people that might be suffering in silence is there's a lot of modalities out there now to get help via gambling. I work at a recovery center myself, and we have ambassadors that come in and do presentations on gambling. And there's not enough help, but there is help. And I know that there's more help on the way. I feel as though there should be recovery coaches for gambling. There should be the same way they have Al-Anon and Alateen on and ACA, adult children of alcoholics and addicts. I feel like they should have that too, to support the family members that are going through someone that might be gambling, and the families need to be educated on the things that they can do to support a problem gambler or someone that has gambling disorder, because I know that there's a difference between the two. But that's my personal experience with problem gambling. There's been times where it's been rougher than others, but I know it's that feeling. It's just like alcohol and addiction doesn't affect us when we're drinking. It's how we feel when we're sober. The same thing with gambling. When the game's on, I'm good because I'm gambling. But when I'm not gambling, how I feel when I'm not gambling, that's really what the problem is. So if we can come up with healthy ways for people to feel good about themselves, their life, and their choices without the gambling, that's really the solution to the problem. How can I emotionally regulate and keep my feelings in check so I don't need the gambling to escape my reality of life? Peace Mathematics at motivatedbymathematics.com. I hope this video helps one person. Peace.